Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning, students. You are welcome to Better Faith e-learning platform. My name is Basil Ojemada, and I'll be taking you the physics for SS3 classes that has to do with the why past question. Now, the first one we have state the laws of electromagnetic induction. Then we said, then B, explain how one of the laws illustrates the principle of conservation of energy. Then C, Roman figure 1 says, draw a label diagram of a simple DC electric motor and explain how it works. Then Roman figure 2 says, state two reasons why the efficiency of an electric motor is less than what? 100%. Now, many of us will agree that we have actually dwelled in this topic when it comes to practical issues and theoretical issues concerning electromagnetism. Trying to talk about how a Faraday himself discovered or did perform an experiment to actually discover that there is a motion that flows around a current carrying conductor, talking about the relationship between electrical and the magnetic energy combining together and working themselves together to give us what? The electromagnet. Now, first of all, we're going to start with the law. Faraday has two laws. We're talking about the first law, that's the first law of Faraday, electromagnetic induction, and the Lenz law. Now, what does Faraday's first law state? Faraday's first law states that when there is a change in the magnetic lines of force, EMF is induced. The strength, the EMF that is induced is directly proportional to the rate of change in the magnetic force linked to the what? To the circuit. Now I repeat, Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction states that when there is a change in the magnetic lines in a circuit, we are being told that EMF is induced, and the strength of the EMF is directly proportional to the rate of the magnetic flux that is linked to the what? To the circuit. That's what the Faraday law of electromagnetic induction. Now, what it's trying to actually tell us is that the EMF induced, the strength of EMF is directly proportional to the magnetic flux that is what? That is linked into the circuit. Now, the second law is talking about the Lenz law. What does the Lenz law say? This Lenz law states that the induced EMF produced in the circuit tend to oppose the change that is producing it. That the induced EMF produced tend to oppose the change producing it. Now, with these two laws that tell us that the change in magnetic lines of force, EMF is induced, and the induced EMF, the strength of the induced EMF is directly proportional to the magnetic force or the magnetic flux linked to the what? To the circuit. Now, those are the laws of Faraday, the laws of electromagnetic induction. Then B, we have explain how one of the laws illustrates the principle of conservation of energy. Now, many of us know very much that the law of conservation of energy states that anything can never be destroyed nor created, but they can what? Transform from one form to another. Now, among these two laws, Lenz law happens to be the one of the laws that illustrate the principle of conservation. Now, how does it take place? Now, from magnetism that is being explained in the circuit that encourage the speed or that encourage the motion that takes place in the magnetic field working with the electrical form, electricity is what? Generated. Meaning that mechanical energy is converted to electrical energy. Now, during the process of this motion, now when the motion is taking place, now at first the machine is actually a potential energy, which is a type of what? Of the mechanical energy, is now being converted to kinetic energy. Now it is when the kinetic energy takes place, all of them embedded in mechanical energy, that electrical energy is now what? Formed. Meaning that mechanical energy with the help of potential energy and kinetic energy are being transformed into what? Electrical energy. Now, many of us have generators at home, and we know very much well that there is no how the generator can generate light, or the device can generate light when it is not moving, when it is not in motion, when it has not been transformed from one form to the other. Now, we will now come to the main thing here in this question. If many of us that are very used to past questions knows very much well that the questions given to us have the marks that was attached to them. They have their own specific marks attached to each question. If you look at this, you might have succeeded in answering this question by stating the law. Then you must have succeeded in answering this question by proving that the Lenz's law was according to the principle of conservation of energy. But when it comes to this, now that the white has some kind of limited spaces, we have to be very careful with the way we construct our write-up. Now, by the grace of God, it might be only NECO examinations that might give us that room. But while the examinations that have not done it in a way, like a kind of workbook, we have to be very careful and pick out some points. But the explanation of the working principle of the electric motor has to be placed on this form so that we'll be able to get the actual meaning and understand them very well. Now, looking at this, we say now, it said draw a label diagram of a simple DC electrical motor. Now, many of us have been able to differentiate between a motor that converts mechanical energy to what? To the electrical energy. And while we were doing simple dynamo, we knew what we were actually going into. Now, if you look at what we have here, we have, in this diagram, we have two magnets. Now, take note, in every rotating machine, there must be a magnet when it comes to a machine that is actually working to its own principle. Now, the strength of the magnet matters a lot. Now, if you remember very well, one of the working principles of a rotating part in any machine that tends to rotate is talking about the strength of the magnetic field, the coil itself, and the way and the principle at which they work. So, looking at what we have here, we can discover that this is the magnet that has been set in place. Now, this is the coil that is going on. So, definitely, we are going to be having the magnet, and the strength of the magnet determines what actually happens here. So the rate of change in the magnetic length of force actually gives the strength or the strength of the induced EMF that is formed in this circuit. Now, if you look at this is a DC motor. Now there's a difference between a DC motor and an AC motor. And many of us remember that the big difference between a DC motor and an AC motor is actually the split ring that is being used in the DC motor. Now we have to recall this so that we should be very, very careful, because a DC uses the split ring while the AC uses what? The slip ring. And many of us knows how to do some kind of conversion to actually give us what? The desired motor we are looking for, whether the DC or what, or the AC. But based on examination conditions, we may not need to explain such, because we are asked to explain the working principle of this format. Now, from what we have seen here, we have seen a resistance. This is a resistance. Now, what is a resistance that many of us know? Now, this is not different from what actually happened in the form of a generating set. In the sense that this, now the EMF that is being generated by the working of the electricity that tend to go, and the electrical energy and the mechanical energy combining together are being transferred until these things, they come and they attach themselves to the resistor, otherwise known as a load. Now, we are going to start little by little, and please, for the sake of us that are actually doing wild questions, we should learn to be brief. We should learn to be brief. Why? In the sense that during write-ups or for the sake of examination conditions, there are so many reasons, there are so many people, once they want to say there are some points that they are looking for. But we have to put it in this format so that on your own, you should be able to summarize and give the exact answer you are looking for. Now, looking at what we are having here, we are going to be using this structure to explain. Now, from what we have here, we have the coil. Now, if you watch, this is the coil. In between the path or the strength of this magnetic field. Now, we have the split ring that acts as a reverser, which we are going to explain soon. Then we have the coil, which you can also represent as what? As the tongues. Then we have what? The carbon brushes. Now, let us look at the explanation. We have here on the board, it said a simple DC electric motor can supply direct current DC by using what? A split ring. Now, you have to take note of that. The split ring should be stated, a split ring commutator. They are actually looking for that point. Now, the split ring commutator has been stated. Now, looking at what we have here, we now go to the brush. Now, the brush is having a negative, now it said the brush, that's the negative side of the brush, touches 1/2 of the what? Of the split ring. Meaning that there's a kind of partial revolution that goes on in this place. In the sense that there's a kind of reversal that goes on during the process of what? Of the motion. Now, we have another one here. It said, while the other block, which is the positive, touches the other half of Y. Now, as the coil rotates, it cuts through the magnetic flux, linking the magnet. Now, what do they mean? As this point begins to rotate, now we are being told that it cuts through the magnet. Now, you cannot discover that there's a direction of flow that works in this format. Now, during the process, now the working principle of the magnet and the electricity induced EMF from here is being generated. Now, we have it touches the other half. Why? As the coil rotates, it cuts through the magnetic flux, linking the magnet, and the current is induced. Meaning that as it goes and links the magnet, current is what? Induced. Meaning that the strength of the magnet depends on the induced EMF. Meaning that one of those reasons that can make the current not to be as strong as expected or predetermined is the nature of the magnet and the nature of what? Of the coil. Now we have the magnet and current is induced, which flow through the coil as shown in the diagram. Now, as the coil rotates past the vertical Y, now meaning that there's a rotation that goes here during that process. It's just like most of us are actually, let me use a generating set for example. There is no generator that will actually work for you without starting it up and working with its speed before light energy can be generated, or electrical energy can be generated. Now we are told that while it rotates past the vertical Y around to touch the negative, then now touch the negative, YS move round to touch what? The positive. Now if you look at it, this X and Y rotate to touch this, then the Y rotate to what? To touch the negative. So that is what we are having here, that the vertical Y around touch the what? The negative. Meaning there is not a relationship between the positive contact, so that which is Y, to the other side, while this S, that is the negative contact, touch this other side of it. Now we are told that this action reverses. Now during the process of reversal, you will now discover that there is a continuous contact. There is a continuous harmony that goes on that allows the working principle of this to be what? Effective. Now, it says that the reverse happens when the current is just what? Zero. When we are saying the current is zero, we are actually saying that current does not, it gives a what? A value of what? Of zero. So that's when the reverse what? Takes place. Now, we have this, it said the reverse happens when the current is zero, that's the coil is vertical. So instead of the coil reversing, in the external resistance, it continues to flow in the same what? Direction. Now please take note, while stating this or while writing this on paper, for the purpose of brief writing, we should be very careful to actually state what goes on in this particular area. Now we have stated something because we are dealing with the AC the DC motor. Now we have actually stated the magnet, we have actually stated the coil, we've actually stated the split ring. Now if you look at what we have here on the board, you observe that the very first thing we're having here is the split ring during the process of explanation, and it came to this point. Meaning that we should be very careful with the split ring and the slip ring in process. So there's only a very big difference between the DC motor and the AC motor with the working principle of the split ring. Now please, we should be very careful while we are explaining this so that we will not make mistake mixing the working principle of the AC and that of the DC in combination of them together. So as you can see very much well, it is very good and very obvious that most of the times in exam questions or jam questions, we are always told, how do we convert a DC motor to an AC motor? Now, if you look at it, the major difference between the DC motor and that of the AC motor is just the slip and the split ring. So, for the purpose of summary, for those of us that have this, that our white booklet has some limited space, during the process of explanation, that is, if we have the opportunity to get it, we should be able to make this point known. And please, for the sake of visibility, you should be able to write it clearly so that you're able to know that you are dealing with what? The split and the what? That is the split ring, so that they may not mistake it to what? To the slip ring. They are looking for this split ring and the working principle in relation to the strength of the magnetic field and the coil. So during that process and explanation, we are now able to discover that everything is now being connected to the load, which is the resistor. Like I said earlier, there is no difference between what happens here and your generating set that you have in your homes. Now, by the grace of God, we've been able to explain this while we are dealing with this. Anything that has to do with a rotating machine. A rotating machine, you must be able, even down to our wristwatch, at least there should be a little element of magnetic field that tend to go in it. Like I remember then we did the ammeter, the galvanometer, and the way they work. All these things, there are no difference between it. Now, for the sake of time, we will now go to our last question. It says, state 2 reasons why the efficiency of an electric motor is less than 100%. Now, when we are doing machine, we are told very much that a machine can never be 100% efficient. Why? Because of the frictional force that is being attached to that. And while we are dealing with transformer, we said something that you don't need to use friction for that transformer. Why? Because transformer is an electrical device, so you should be able to have other things that matter. Now, when it comes to state 2 reasons why the efficiency of an electric motor is less than 100%. Number 1 reason is during the process of rotation, friction is being what? Encountered. There is a friction that is encountered in that process. That's 1 in the rotating part. Then number 2, we are being told that due to heat losses that is being generated by the coil, the efficiency cannot be what? 100% efficient. Now, I will advise each and every one of us to please, we should remember to state these laws on the brief with the statement. Now, we have to make it lengthy like this because we actually want to bring an explanation to refresh your memory on what we have here. So I guess with this explanation, I will advise each and every one of us, every devices that are drawn, that are placed on paper in terms of diagrams, we should try our very much best to know how it works, because we do not actually know when we'll be asked to do such explanation. So on this note, will be coming to the end of this, so that by next week we should be able to look at this and different formats at which this question come. So on that note, I'll say you should visit your past question, whether JAMB or WAEC, so that you'll be able to make your conclusions and revise such questions. I wish every one of us good luck as we study, and I pray that God Almighty will help us to get the required knowledge for this. Thank you, and God bless you.